Today we're going over the simplest course on AI agents for beginners. We're going to break down what it is, how they work, their main components, and I'll make sure to give you a core skill of building them. When I was starting out 5 months ago, I felt genuinely lost in all the information that is currently online, and I just kept watching different tutorials and builds just to go through those fatigue. Now, to eliminate this fatigue for you, I'm creating this video. My name is Zena. I'm building qualitative AI automations for sales coaching businesses and explaining it to everyone. So let's not waste any more time here and get straight into it. So let's start from our diagram here to actually understand what our AI agent is and its main components. So let's take an example of ChatGPT here. When we're texting with ChatGPT, we're sending him our message or our question. For example, what is the capital of USA? Those questions is being sent to our large language model, which is our LLM, and then the familiar for us processes are happening there inside. Our chatbot analyzes our question and predicts the answer based on the system prompt that he has from OpenAI, and then actually gives us back our response. Now consider our AI agent the similar thing but a more advanced one. So the first thing that is changed here is that we set up manually our own system prompt for our AI agent. So he can have a hold on his main purpose and also navigate through the tools we're going to give him. Our tools is actually a second thing that is changed here, and we're going to touch more in depth how our AI agents are actually sending the information and receiving the information. And the third thing that is changed here is that our AI agent also has his own LLM memory. Going back to our ChatGPT example, ChatGPT also has his own LLM memory, but we can interact with it on a production level, only give him some insights about us in text format. Now let's break down what our tools are. So the system behind our tools is actually called API. Now what it is. API is actually one of the toughest things I've got to explain to myself on my AI automation journey, but I recently found this analogy on the internet that I absolutely love, and it sounds somewhat like this. Imagine you're walking to a restaurant. Once inside, you have your menu, the waiter approaches you, and you make your order. Then those orders being sent to a kitchen where they process your order, aka prepare your food. And then you receive your food back, in other words, our response to our input. So what happened here is that we sent our input to our API servers. And then those API servers processed our input, and then they gave us back the output that we actually need. To make it more understandable, our API servers is the thing that each and every website that we know actually has. Instagram, Facebook, weather forecast website, they all have those API servers that contain those accessible information. Going back to our agents, they're mostly getting or posting the information. So getting would be retrieving some information about the dishes in the menu or their prices in our restaurant. In terms of our AI automation, getting is usually retrieving some information from a website or retrieving the information about a client from our CRM system, or getting the weather forecast. Posting, though, would be creating some new information. For example, you create a new order in our restaurant and then it's sent to our API servers, originally our kitchen. So posting in terms of AI automation would be posting some photo on Instagram, or sending an email, or loading some information into our database. Now guys, as we have a touch on our theory and actually how everything is happening inside of our AI agents, let's proceed to our n8n and build something like this. So the first thing we're going to do is to add our trigger. And our trigger is actually a thing that is triggering our workflow to work, to execute all of the nodes that we have inside our workflow. So today we're going to be adding a chat trigger because it's very similar to our ChatGPT analogy. So we can just actually text with our AI agent and directly in a Word format give him those tasks that we need him to execute. Once we have our chat trigger set it up, let's add our AI agent. So let's click plus and let's click on AI tab and let's choose from AI agent. Now we have a couple of fields here, but we're going to touch on them a little bit later. So now let's add a brain for our AI agent, and we're going to add it by clicking a plus here under chat model. And as you can see here, we have a lot of different models here. We have Gemini, I think. Yeah, we have Gemini, we have Anthropic, we have DeepSeek even. But we're going to stick with OpenAI today, just so I can show you how to actually set up our credential. If you don't have a credential, let's go to our OpenAI platform. So we have our docs and our overview about the OpenAI platform. What we need to do to search for our API keys, we go to dashboard, and then we go to our API keys tab. Now we can create your new secret key and actually use it and go back to our n8n, but the thing is to use OpenAI, you need to put some money inside of your account. And it's actually very cheap. For example, like $5 is going to last for you very long time. So just make sure you add some money inside of your account and you're going to be good. Now let's go back to our n8n. And we have a model here, which is GPT-4.1 mini. It's actually very good model, so we can stick with that. Now let's proceed to adding a memory for our tool. So let's click plus under our memory. And let's add a simple memory because we have a couple of different memories here, but what we need today is just our simple memory. And let's add our first tool. It's going to be a Gmail tool. So our AI agent today is going to be sending the Gmail messages inside of some other people's inboxes. So let's do that and search for Gmail here, Gmail tool. And now we have our operation basically set it up, which is send a message. It's exactly the one we need, but you can play around with that and you can have a lot of different operations here, and you can just infinitely add some new Gmail tools and just change the operation here, as you can see. But we're going to stick with send today. So our first field here is the credential to connect with field. So it's actually requiring you to connect your OAuth connection with your Google account, and it can be sometimes a little bit tricky to do, but I'm going to link a 4-minute video in the link down below in the description, so you can just check it out. A guide there explains it very easily how to actually do that. So if you don't have this credential yet, check it out because it's actually important when you're working with n8n and when there's some Google Notes. So now, once you have it connected, the next field that we have here is the tool description field. So we have two options here, set automatically or set manually, but you can choose a set manually and it's going to pop out as some tool description, which is send a message in Gmail. And it's actually just a basic description for this tool. It's just telling your AI agent what can he do with this tool and what can he use it for. But we're going to be okay with our automatic description, so let's just stick with that. And now our next field is the resource field. So here our other resources here are label, draft, and thread, but we're going to stick with message here to just not make it too complicated. So let's check message, and now we have 3 obligatory fields to fill in here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to list an n8n inbuilt comment here. What we're going to do is that we're going to give an ability for our AI agent to fill in these fields on his own, aka retrieve the necessary information from our conversation. So let's do that, and to actually call a comment inside of n8n, you need to write 2 brackets like this, and then click for a $sign, and you can see immediately few comments popping up here, but the comment that we need is called from AI. And now we have our comment set it up, but it's still undefined because we don't have a key here yet. So let's do that, and let's click quotas, and let's write email. So now, as you can understand, our AI is going to be able to retrieve the necessary email address from our conversation and fill in right inside of this field to actually use this tool. So we're going to do the same thing with our other fields, and just copy, paste, and copy paste. Just change the keys here to subject and the message. Now we can actually have our Gmail tool set it up, and it's all okay. So now what we can do here is to prompt our AI agent. As I said, we need to give our AI agent a system prompt to actually explain to him what is your main purpose, what are you doing, and what tools do you have for that. So let's do it and add our option, and it's going to be a system message option. And our basic system message here is you are a helpful assistant. It's a basic one that n8n just has manually set it up, but I'm going to use my Relevannce.ai tool to actually generate for us a new system prompt. So let's proceed to our Relevannce.ai. The link to this tool is going to be in the description down below as well, guys, so you can just copy and clone it and use it by yourself. So all you need to do here is to just give some description, aka use case information, for what is this prompt is going to be used for. Once you have your use case information listed, our next field is an input-output examples. This one is not that complicated as well. All you need to do is just provide some question answer examples of how your prompt should be explaining to your agent how he should communicate with you or with your client if you're sending this AI agent to your client, like whatever you want. So I have my inputs prepared here, so just let me insert them just in a minute. So here's my inputs, and as I said, nothing that complicated. So now let's run this tool and just check it out how it's going to be, how our prompt is going to look. So we have our prompt generated here, and it looks somewhat like this. It has the role, task, specifics, context, examples, and notes section here. So let's copy that and go back to our n8n and just insert it right here. Now let's click expression, and let's click this button to actually have all our prompt listed in front of us, so we just see full of it and not in those little window. So now we can see our prompt here, and once we have set it up, let's actually test our agent. So let's just say something like hi to him first. So let's do that. And the thing that I'm going to do next is I'm going to give him some of my personal info to just check out how our memory tool is working, to just make sure that he remembers it. So I'll tell him my name is Anna, and now let's actually ask him if he remembers me. So let's just say, what is my name? And he should remember it because we have our memory. Yeah, he tells me that your name is Anna, how can I assist you further with your Gmail? And he actually already have the context about our Gmail tool because of our system prompt. So now let's try to delete our simple memory node and just see if he remembers me still. Let's ask him. And he shouldn't actually, yeah. I don't have an access to your personal information, including your name. If you'd like, you can tell me your name or how you'd be addressed. So yeah, this is how it works, and if we don't have our memory, it's not that really convenient to have your AI agent as your personal assistant because he's just not going to remember anything you talk about. Let's go back to our simple memory and let me touch on one last thing here, which is a context window length. So what it is just, it's giving our agent information about how many messages above he remembers since our very last message. So we have a number 5 here, so he remembers 5 messages above. But if we're going to say something like 10 or 100, our AI agent will be able to work on some more complicated tasks or some projects because he's going to remember more context, and we'll be able to use him as an actual assistant for us. Now guys, let's actually test how our AI agent is running with our tool. So let's give him some simple task as please send this message. I'm going to listen today. To this email. And I'm just going to pass my own email for the sake of demonstration. So let's copy that. Oh, he actually gave me a response. You previously asked to send the message I'm going to listen today. This is actually because I had sessions before when I was testing him. So let's try one more time and I'll just give him a slightly different task now. And now if we check our inbox, we should have our message here, and yeah, we have our next message here, which is I'm going to be present tomorrow. And as you can see here, we have this little attribution from n8n, which is this email was sent automatically with n8n. And if you're guys creating some AI agents for some businesses or for your clients, or you just need this email to look more natural, we wouldn't prefer for this attribution to be. So let's back to our n8n. And let's go inside of our Gmail tool, and let's add an option here, which is going to be append n8n attribution. And we're just going to turn it off. So now since we turned it off, it's just not going to be sent with those attribution anymore. Now guys, as we've been running this AI agent, the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to break down the logs, aka what is happening behind that curtain when he's actually running. So let's do that. Let's go to our AI agent. And let's click logs to just have them full screen for us. And now we can see here what is happening. So he's using our simple memory tool 3 times. So what is he doing is the first time he's checking the conversation history that he already has from our past messages. Then he is putting my message inside of his simple memory to also have it stored. And the third time he's using his simple memory is he's putting his own message. So in this format, he's actually creating all of those history, message by message, about our conversation with him. He's also using the OpenAI chat model twice. So I guess like what is he doing is that the first time he's checking his system prompt, and the second time he's actually generating for us our response that he's sending to us. And the very last thing he's doing is that he's also sending a message inside of our Gmail, and here he's just sending those, doing our tasks that we actually gave him to do. And now guys, we're actually done with our AI agent, and I must say that throughout this course, I think you got that you can infinitely enhance this AI agent. Like you can add new tools and you can add new agents inside of your AI agent. In this way, you're actually creating AI agent workflows, which is a very interesting thing when your AI agent is rolling some other AI agents that have their own one specific task. So you also can change your triggers. You can add any trigger you want. You can play around a lot with that, guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get something valuable from it, and see you in the next videos. Thank you so much, guys.